Okay, today we're going to talk about what you do when you come across an unfamiliar word. You're reading and you come across a word and you're not sure about it. Maybe you're not sure about pronunciation. Maybe you're not sure about the meaning or a combination of both. So when that happens, you have to become a word detective. So being a word detective is all about using context clues to help you identify the meaning of an unfamiliar word. So, what we're going to talk about today are some different types of context clues to be on the lookout for to help you identify that unknown word meaning. So, one thing that you need to be aware of as a reader is identifying word parts. So, for example, when we learn all about prefixes and suffixes and how those affect the meaning of our words, that's a word part. That's going to help you figure out the meaning of a word if you're able to sort of break it down and think about the parts of the word that you do know. Another thing we use as readers is, of course, any visuals that we've got. So if you have any pictures that have labels, be sure you don't ignore those. That can obviously help you identify an unfamiliar word. Examples. When you see a word like crustaceans, and maybe you've never heard or seen that word before, but beside that word, there are a list of things. Those are examples. So, crustaceans, shrimp, lobster, crabs are interesting creatures. So, these here that are separated with a comma in a list form, these are examples of crustaceans. Sometimes you even get a definition of that word. The calyx, the leaf-like section that covers a flower bud, is green. So this part here that is set off with your commas is actually the definition of that word. So when you see a definition like that, it's going to look very similar. In other words, it's going to be kind of closed in with these commas because it's the definition of that word. You might hear synonyms or antonyms. So, synonyms are words that mean about the same. Luke wanted to rectify his mistake. So, rectify might be your unfamiliar word. If he could correct it, he would. So, rectify and correct are actually synonyms. If you see the word correct, it's going to help you understand that he'd like to correct his mistake. You also might see antonyms as you read. Antonyms are opposites. While Anna preferred being industrious, Leon liked being lazy. So I know that's an antonym because this is comparing and contrasting Anna and Lynn. And I know that because of the way that the sentence begins. So let's check out some examples and let's use the information within the text to help us understand what a word means. So we're going to see if we can use clues to figure out these tricky words and if we can also identify what type of context clue is that. Stagnant water can become a breeding ground for mosquitoes that transmit diseases. Stagnant water is motionless. It is water that doesn't move or flow. So looking at the sentences that follow stagnant, what do you hear? What do you see? Do you see any synonyms or antonyms? Do you see any picture clues? Do you hear a definition? What do you hear? So this particular example actually gives me the definition of stagnant. Can you find it? If you picked this sentence right here, stagnant water is motionless. There's your definition. It's water that doesn't move or flow. So this tricky word is actually followed by context clues that give you the definition. Leslie's eyes narrowed. I can expunge her name from my list. She used the mouse to highlight Jennifer Moody's name and then pushed the delete key. There, it's like her name was never even here. What kind of clues do you hear or see surrounding expunge? You see any synonyms or antonyms? We actually have a synonym here. Do you know what it is? Look at this part. And then she pushed the delete key. Delete and expunge are actually synonyms. So this word delete, that's a little more common, helps me identify the meaning of expunge. The tuba is such a corpulent instrument. I wish you would consider playing something small and light, like the flute, said my mom. Corpulent, ooh, that is a big, tricky word. So it's describing the tuba, it's describing this instrument. And then mom says, man, I wish you were playing something small and light, like the flute. So what's happening in this sentence? What kind of context clues are you seeing? We're comparing a tuba to a flute. So if a flute is small and light, corpulent must mean, antonyms are opposites. So if a flute is small and light, a tuba must be big and heavy, corpulent. 12-year-old Joey could think of nothing more insipid than attending his younger sister's 2-hour piano recital, except for watching her 4-hour dance recital. So you got Joey, and he's thinking, man, there is nothing more insipid than attending my sister's 2-hour piano recital, except for that 4-hour dance recital. What do you think insipid means using these clues? We've got an example happening here. Like, nothing's more insipid than this. Oh, other than this. What do you think insipid means? I think it must mean boring. I think Joey's a little bored. The caterpillar also holds its body in the shape of in a shape of a dropping and rests motionlessly on a leaf. So motionlessly is a great example of word parts because if you look at motionlessly, I can separate it into actually 3-word parts to help me identify the meaning. If I know the suffix less, I know that less means without. So motionlessly must mean without motion. So here are some ways, some strategies to use when you are needing some context clues. You're needing some help to identify word meaning of tricky words.